Welcome everybody, and thanks for joining us today. My name's Cathy. I'm from Microsoft for Startups based out of Sydney, Australia. And today I am joined by the founder and CEO of Interleukin, Laila Marquez. Laila, thanks so much for joining us. Would you like to kick off and tell us about what Interleukin does?
Yeah, Interleukin is actually a B2B kind of platform for healthcare needs, wherein we actually create a connection between medical suppliers and medical institutions that provides three important things for the industry: savings, security, and transparency, providing big data in the healthcare system.
And in your work, what are the biggest challenges that you face today?
Yeah, actually, one of the things that is I'm really facing right now, as in like right now, is handling the people, finding the right team in a startup, because startup startup world is not for everyone. Yeah, and building your startup, you need to let them, each of them in your team, to understand what is startup all about. Uh, Other industries is also different. Yeah, and finding that right people will also drive with you, join with you, going towards that vision, that direction, um, will be a very crucial moment to scale up and grow your business.
Yeah, 100% agree. And it's, it's a difficult one because it's only, you have to give that time to see if it's working. And it's not something like where you can solve it and you're like, there we go, we've done it. It has to grow and move with you. So a huge challenge, but one that I think, you're definitely up for. And in the Highway to 100 Unicorns program, if, um, if Interleukin does everything that you would like it to do, what would be the economic impact on the Philippines?
Since the healthcare industry in the Philippines is really left behind already in terms of upgrading in technology, um, the impact of Interleukin in the healthcare system will be really mean a lot, in which the technology that we are bringing, the kind of system that we want to bring into them, the kind of organization, that transparency in terms of procurement of medical supplies here in the Philippines will be a lot of an impact, a big impact to them, wherein either you're a small clinic, a laboratory, or a big hospital, you'll be able to get to have that kind of central hub wherein those suppliers and medical institutions work hand in hand to have that kind of seamless connection using technology. Um, you can find everything there, all the data, all the supplies you need. You'll be able to forecast perfectly the supplies you need. The suppliers will be able to manage their business well, to grow more, to know how they will scale up as well, and the hospitals will be able to know how 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 they will going to manage their patients in terms of their supplies. So especially if there will be outbreak or pandemic again. Well, Philippines has a lot of outbreaks here. We have a lot of infectious diseases here. So I think it's time. It's time for healthcare to step up to here in the Philippines, to be open on start on doing a B2B kind of business in terms of their procurement in in the medical field.
I don't know why I was smiling there as you said, if there's another pandemic or outbreak, it's just a weird natural reaction that
Yeah.
it's really the opposite of what I'm thinking on the inside. But there's so much interconnectivity already with what you do. Do you see any, do you have any plans of expansions into other markets? And if you do, how can Microsoft help you get there?
Yeah, actually, the plans that we are building is we want to expand not just only in the procurement, but covering all the supply chain, because that's where we felt, especially during the pandemic, we were hit hard. The supply chain issues, those things that we also want to expand Interleukin is, and that's the direction of Interleukin. Um, uh, Being a disruptive technology in terms of supply chain, and provide that, as I mentioned, that big data that our country is needing for us to be able to um, make us in for the economic growth, for the progress, especially on the healthcare.
Such an important, if not the most important, industry at the moment. And when you're making technology decisions for Interleukin, what sort of criteria do you have for those?
Number one is the customer. I always put myself, what will be the impact to the customer? What will this be important for them? Will this be a long term sustainable thing for them? It's always number one, the customers. That's how I uh, provide that. I make a decision. Number two is the service, the quality. Not just only a service, but the quality. Is it are we really providing a quality service, not just only externally but also internally in our organization? So, and excellence, because we all in the healthcare, you cannot make a mistake, because once you make a mistake, you're already compromising a life of a person, right? Even though you're in the procurement, no, because we are part of providing that service, that quality service to the hospitals, to the laboratories, or to the medical institutions. So we want to make sure that from the very beginning of getting that supply is right. Everything should be informed, educated well, each and every one of using the platform, or even the people surrounding about Interleukin or in the medical industry.
There's so much heart and soul in your business, Laila. You bring everything, your incredible care just permeates everything. Even when I ask you a technology question, it comes from a place of customer centricity and, absolutely at the heart of what it is that you do.
Yeah.
And I guess this might be a question that we've sort of touched on, but how has COVID affected or transformed Interleukin's business?
Oh, actually, Interleukin's business for the COVID, we actually it gives us more of inspiration. When COVID hit, this Interleukin was started during the pandemic. Actually, it was my inspiration to really actually push me to build this startup. I think this is the right time for me, because to really the healthcare industry to open up their minds to disrupt, because we are really in the healthcare here in the Philippines, we are very relaxed in terms of we're okay with the traditional processes, but when this pandemic hit, oh my god, this is it. We are not we are so much excited about it. I'm so excited to show to them that this is where we need to go. There's no going back. So that's the kind of Interleukin hit during the pandemic. We want to build more. There are a lot of ideas going in, but we want to have that focus on that one thing, that basic need of the medical institutions and the businesses, the suppliers, for them to understand that this is the technology. So there are some startups who also had that challenge during the COVID. But for Interleukin, for me, it's uh, because that's the an opportunity, a big opportunity for us, since COVID is really, it's a healthcare issue. So, and it really pushed us more to do this, and there's no going back anyway. Anyway,
Yeah, and you know, absolutely, crises and disasters stretch humans to really develop things that are going to help us through them. You know, I think during World War II, there was military operations that were happening that led to all sorts of advances in cryptography and battlefield communications, and eventually I think the internet was even shaped somewhat by it. So I think often when I ask startups what the effect of COVID has been, they've just said acceleration. You know, it really got us, it got our skates on, and but it has been a pleasure to talk to you, Laila. We are really, really happy to have you in our program. It's especially I think different to come across a startup in the tech world that is so focused on the human impact that you're going to have, and I really take my hat off to you. It's beautiful to meet you. I wish you all the very best, and we can't wait to check in and see how you're going in a few months.
thank you so much.
Thanks, Laila.
It's really a pleasure to have this talk with you, Cathy.
Lovely to meet.
Yeah.
See you.
Bye.